we didn't know why teenagers tend to consume caffeine and whether that can actually affect the choice they make for snacks after they consume caffeine. So, in order to answer these questions, researchers did the following experiment. They asked teenagers to come to the lab and they gave them to drink Sprite juice or lemonade. They asked them, which one do you like the most? And then teenagers chose their favorite drink, and then before they give to them, they added extra caffeine or they added nothing. After they asked them to have the drink, then they told them to choose what they would like to eat and how much they like the different snacks. And they told them you can eat as much as you want from what you're going to have, because if you don't eat it, we're going to throw it away. So they had different options to select from. They could select to have Skittles and Smarties, potato chips and Doritos. So by doing that, they wanted to look whether what they selected to eat after they had the drink with the caffeine was related to the amount of the caffeine that they had. And they did that both in boys and girls. They also asked them to fill up a questionnaire where they wrote down what food they had in the last 24 hours. And they also asked them a questionnaire about their regular caffeine use, where they actually asked them how much frequently they had different types of beverages, and particularly caffeinated beverages. And they wanted to see how much and how frequently they had those drinks. So let's see what they found out. In this particular study, for the boys, the average caffeine on the high caffeine consumer group was 145 milligram per day. And in girls, the high consumers had an average of 108 milligrams of caffeine every day. What the researchers found was that the source of caffeine for the majority of the participants was soda, not coffee. Isn't that surprising? I know for adults, the main source of caffeine is coffee, but for teenagers is soda. The average caffeine that is included in soda is 40 milligrams per 12 ounces. In coffee, it's approximately 100 milligrams per 5 ounces. Tea has 40 milligrams per 5 ounces. Chocolate only has 10 milligrams per ounce. And really the highest proportion of caffeine in drinks comes from energy drinks. The caffeine can be up to 150 milligrams per 12 ounce can. So really significant. So what else did they found? As I mentioned, they asked them to go and select the different type of snacks, and they said, just go ahead and eat what you like. And what they found, interestingly, was that the group of teenagers that was consuming higher amounts of caffeine tended to eat more high sugar, low fat snacks compared to the group that had low caffeine. In addition to that, when they looked at their questionnaires, the food questionnaires that they had filled out, they found out that the group that had higher caffeine consumption had more total daily intake. Now the question is, why did this happen? As I mentioned earlier, the main source of caffeine in teenagers is not from coffee. It comes from sodas and energy drinks. Those drinks not only have caffeine, but they also have sugar. That is one possible explanation. There is also another explanation, and that is that when you are having caffeine, you may reach out a high sugary snack. That's what this study suggests. Again, it's a small study. We can't really generalize this conclusion to the whole population. However, it does give us some food for thought. What I would like you to take away from this study is that re-examine the amount of caffeine that you're getting every day. And if you're a teenager listening to this, re-examine like what kind of choices of drinks do you reach for when you're looking to get for extra caffeine. This study showed also that boys tended to have higher consumption of caffeine because it was more important to them to get energy, to get a rush, to have better athletic performance compared to girls. Boys are at a little higher risk to get high caffeine consumption compared to girls. Now, this study had certain limitations that we need to take into consideration when we are analyzing this data. First of all, as I mentioned, it was a relatively small, medium-size study, so really not too many people participated, but it's a good size for this type of study. But definitely we can just apply these results to the general population. And also, they did not have teenagers that participated that consume really significant amount of caffeine, let's say 200, 300, 400 milligrams, and see what the effects are. And as you mentioned, the average was around 150 milligram for boys and 110 for girls, so really not super high levels of caffeine. And also the majority of teenagers that participated in the study had normal weight. So we don't know what would happen if and how these choices would have been different in teenagers that had a higher weight. However, I would say that it's even more interesting to see those behaviors in children that don't really struggle with their weight, because that tells you that the effects, if are even evident in all teenagers, or at least teenagers that potentially have healthier habits than others, despite the fact that they consume caffeine. And in general, the recommendation from pediatricians is to always go for water. It is really the best source of hydration, not for caffeinated beverages that also have a lot of sugar. I didn't go into details about the other physiologic responses they get, but they did get higher blood pressure and all that. But since the focus of this podcast is really the healthy habit, and in particular eating habits, and we don't have much time, I wanted to focus on the aspects that have to do with healthier snack choices, sugar intake, and total intake of food. So that's all I had to present for you today. So my call to action and my take-home message for you today is, first of all, examine how much caffeine do you consume every day. Decide to do this simple experiment. Let's just say write down every week all the drinks that you have, whether it is soda, energy drink, tea, chocolate, or coffee. Make an average. What's your average consumption in a week? And if it's above 100 milligram per day, I would encourage you to reconsider your intake and see how that may affect your routine and how that affect overall your healthy habits. I'm going to talk more about the effects of caffeine on sleep and other aspects in future episodes. But if you are in the high consumer category of caffeine, pay attention also to your snack choices, and especially pay attention to what do you actually reach for snacks, and does that study maybe apply to you? And do you consume a lot of high sugar snacks along with your caffeine drink? I hope you enjoyed this and share it with your friends if you did. Bye for now.